Hi, everyone. This is Mike from Choosing Love Today, and welcome to Enduring Faith. One of the things I've learned about God is that He often begins His work in our lives through people we'd never expect. Not the leaders, not the experts, and not the people with titles. Sometimes it's the quiet voices, the overlooked people, the ones who seem small in the story. There's a moment in 2 Kings chapter 5 that shows this so clearly. It's the story of Naaman, a powerful military commander, respected, successful, and trusted by his king. Naaman had everything going for him except one thing. He had leprosy. And in that culture, leprosy wasn't just a sickness, it was a sentence. It was fear, it was isolation, it was something no amount of success could fix. But here's where the story takes a surprising turn. In Naaman's household, there was a young servant girl, a girl taken captive from Israel. She had no status and no authority, no influence. She was invisible in the world's eyes. But she knew something Naaman didn't. She knew there was a prophet in Israel who served a God who could heal. And she spoke up. Just a simple sentence, just a quiet suggestion, just a small voice in a big house. And that tiny moment changed everything. And Naaman listened. Naaman traveled. Naaman sought out Elisha. And when Elisha told him to wash in the Jordan River, Naaman resisted because it sounded too simple, too ordinary, too small. But eventually he obeyed, and he was healed. A powerful man's life was transformed because of a quiet voice he could have easily ignored. And I think that's how God still works today. Sometimes the encouragement we need comes from someone we didn't expect. Because sometimes the wisdom we need comes from a small voice. Sometimes the turning point in our story begins with a simple suggestion, a quiet nudge, or a moment that doesn't feel big at all. A transformed life doesn't always start with dramatic moments. Sometimes it starts with listening. Sometimes it starts with humility. Sometimes it starts with paying attention to the small voices God places around us. In the very first episode of Choosing Love Today, I said that life is very simple. It's just not easy. As humans, we have this uncanny ability of making things more difficult than they need to be. Oftentimes, most things can be figured out with common sense, or what I call uncommon sense. So today, don't overlook the people who seem small. Don't ignore the quiet encouragement. Don't dismiss the simple suggestion. I've learned from my 73 short years on this planet that I've learned from a lot of older and younger people. And it may be true that most people aren't as wise as they think they are. That's why it's always best to listen twice as much as you talk. God has a long history of using unexpected people to begin unexpected transformation. And that's all part of choosing love today.